What's up, everybody? That time of the day, that time of the week, that time of the month.
Always.
You listen to the good,
The band.
the ugly. I'm Big Papa.
And I'm Jeff.
And boy, we're excited today.
We're always excited on Monday. It's weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Tuesday when we say we're excited, it's usually a lie.
I know.
Boy, are we excited about the show today?
Yeah, woo.
No, not really. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man.
How was your weekend?
Uneventful.
Did you go to our friends,
No,
the Good Nature Brewery?
I did not.
No shit.
No.
He's probably wondering where the hell you were.
He's missing my my money.
Yeah, well, I got all the gift certificates over there.
I know.
You're not taking them. Those are
No,
mine.
those are mine.
Yep. Dude, we've got a good show today.
Yeah.
We have a gentleman that is from the Syracuse area originally,
Very cool.
living out in the
West?
soon to be what they say walled state, as everybody wants.
Oh. Yeah.
Out there on the wrong coast.
Wrong coast.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring him on, and boy, he's got some interesting background. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, so we can get right into this, Vinny the drummer. Vinny the drummer. There he is.
What's up, guys? How the hell are you doing?
How you
What's
doing,
up, man?
brother?
You name it, man. I'm doing it.
Yeah, baby.
You know, I've never seen the drummer in the white pages as the last name. Is
I
that
know.
Norwegian? Is that what is that? The drummer.
It's just easier, It's like over the years. Again, my name is Todd Vinny Vincegera. I've had so many people butcher my last name for so freaking long. I've been called Vince or Vinny since I was about 5. So I just said, let's just make this easy. I'm Vinny the drummer.
Dude, have it changed.
Yeah, legally.
Now that would be fucking rock and roll right there.
Yeah, I should. I actually should. Why? That's a good idea.
Yeah, Vinny
It looked great.
T.
The cops pulled me over. Hey, we got Vinny the drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, buddy, what's your name? Read the license,
Yeah,
pal.
look at my
Not
license.
There
There you go. Vinny the drummer.
Yeah, you must be Bob the cop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's my friend.
It's Mike the singer.
It's Mike the singer, Jeff the
Carpenter.
haircut. Yeah.
Whatever.
So, dude, how long have you been out in California?
Oh, God. Well, which time? I moved out here in 91 originally, and I went to a Musicians Institute. And that was like 1 year solid of just intense drumming. And I met some really, really cool people. I was in so many interesting situations back then. It's like I had an internship with Zildjian Cymbals, and I would actually get to pick cymbals out for all these different freaking, like, guys like Steve Gadd. So I picked out, he wanted 3 19-inch K custom cymbals. I picked out 5. I brought it to the studio, and it was Chick Corea's electric band rehearsing. So I like walk into the studio, said, I'm here. They actually brought me over to the room. They knock on the door. Chick opens up the room himself and invites me in. I'm like, this is great. I'm like 24, 25, something like that.
Right.
And there's Steve Gadd. He's like, oh, man, here, let's see what you got. He took 3 of the 5 that I picked out for him. Then he asked if I wanted to sit down and watch him drum a little bit. I'm like, are you shitting me?
No,
Fuck
I
yeah.
need to go.
So, I don't know. Have you followed or watched any of our episodes?
Oh, yeah. I actually saw one with my old bandmate, Mike Farrar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can go all the way back there. I mean, this was like in, like the late 80s. We had a band called the 12 O'Clock Rock Band. And we were playing music from the 50s,
Yep.
60s, and 70s.
I remember Mike mentioning that.
Yep.
But the reason I ask you is because last week we had Rick Latham on.
Oh, cool.
And Rick one of the first people he mentioned as being influential on
Yeah.
him was Steve Gadd. So it was kind of ironic that you opened the show with
How
with
can
that.
you not? Yeah, Steve Gadd was amazing. And I'm literally sitting like 3 feet from his floor tom.
Right.
Well, they were in rehearsal. That was insane.
yeah, that's awesome. So
And
you're,
I had tons of that crap going on. It was nuts.
well, we're definitely going to get into that here. So you're from Syracuse originally. You played with guys with Mike Farrar and back in the back in the old days.
Yeah, and then also a metal band Below Zero with Steve Raganese, Rags.
Yep.
Hell of a front man.
And
then Maryland's Chamber that was like in the early 90s. It was like the last version of Maryland's Chambers. Now we had, Eric Stevens was in the band and Lee.
Pete Walker.
Yeah, Pete Walker and Steve Feldman.
Yep.
And some dude Tom on keyboards. But that was a trip.
Yeah, I remember the Below Zero days. I mean, Billy Hatch and Rags,
Hatch.
we were all housemates for a long time there. So, and I just talked, as I mentioned to you before when we were talking off air, I just talked to Billy the other day, and we were talking about Eric Stevens and everything, and I got to get Billy on the show. But
you got to get Eric on the show, man.
I know.
He's something. He lives up in Hollywood, man, and we'll hook up like a couple times a year, and we keep saying we're going to put something together. Dude, I'm in the control room of my own recording studio. So on the other side of that wall, this room is insane. It's a perfect killer drum room.
Right.
So I can't wait to start offering tracks for other people, man. It's finally ready. This building is a 1920s carriage house. It's got 8-inch thick cement walls surrounding this, but this back wall, the wall that I'm facing, is literally built into the mountain of the Cleveland National Forest. It's insane.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
And then it's totally soundproof with like mass loaded vinyl. I mean, shit, my son comes out here, he'll drum till like midnight, 1 a.m, and no one can hear it.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That is awesome. So, So you decided to move out to California the second time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's life happens in between all these different moments. So after I left Syracuse in the early 90s, I moved to North Carolina, and I was wiring buildings like computer networks,
right.
Northern Telecom stuff, Cat 5, I'm pulling all that crap. And that's where I met my girlfriend, who's now my wife. So we were together for about 1.5 years or 2 years in Carolina. I'm like, I got to get out of here, man. I miss California. She never been to California, so we go to visit my buddy in San Diego, and we got an apartment on that trip.
Oh, no kidding.
We came back out here then. So that was like probably like 94, 95, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived there for about 10 years until we had a kid. And we figured, it's easier to move back to the East Coast. I tried Syracuse again at that point. I think I lasted 2 months. One of the times.
Why was it winter?
Yeah, God, dude. So my mother lives in Liverpool, New York, and my buddy Kurt and I were on my mom's roof. It was literally 28 below zero. We had hatchets chopping ice off the roof, and he's like, "Why the fuck did you move back here?" I go, "I don't know, man. It was a mistake. I got to get out of here." And that's when I moved. So,
now you auditioned when you were out here. You auditioned for Scars at one point too, didn't you?
I have no idea. I've done a lot of things that I don't know if it's selective amnesia. I have a long-term, short-term memory loss. I'll just leave it like that.
I have selective amnesia. Just ask my wife.
Yeah.
That's selective hearing.
Oh, sorry, hearing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely selective hearing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to even touch that one because your wife already hates me. I'm not even going to go there. So you go back, you come here for a little bit, you realize it sucks. You go back to California.
Yeah.
And you immediately jump into more bands.
Well, it was crazy. So when we lived out here before we had kids, I was working for the San Diego Convention Center doing the wiring. And I got into musical theater. So I was actually teaching out of my house, and I'm doing musical theater. And the first play I did was called Love Janis, about Janis Joplin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the music director was Sam Andrew from Big Brother and the Holding Company, which is Janis's first band.
Yep.
Our lead singer was Beth Hart. She's a phenomenal blues singer. Look her up if you've never heard of her.
I have.
She sells out all over the world. She's doing some stuff here in the States, and she sells out wherever the hell she goes. She's phenomenal. And we're still friends today. I mean, we just seen her not too long ago when she played in town, but she sells out like Royal Albert Hall. I mean, she's phenomenal. So I did musical theater, all that stuff. And then I wanted to do some original stuff. And that's what led me to talking to one of my old roommates when I was at Musicians Institute. This guy's name is Joel Hoekstra. So Joel was in Night Ranger.
Oh, Joel Hoekstra, yeah.
Snake, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Yep. He toured with Cher. And Joel's like, hell yeah, man, let's do this. Well, I happen to know this other guy named Tony Franklin.
Yep.
He was in the band The Firm. So like after like Zeppelin was over, Jimmy Page and Paul Rogers start The Firm. So that's our bass player. All of this music was based on my grooves. So I came from like Pink Floyd Animals, stoner, trippy, put the headphones on, zone out, and hear all this ear candy going on in your head. And my God, I recorded the drums, give it to Tony. Once I got his tracks back, I went into the studio and I locked in with his stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was one song, and I have to really record the video again here in my studio, because there was this open section and I'm doing all this crazy double bass fills. I'm happy as shit. As soon as I'm done, the producer's like, fantastic, come on out. And he gives me a shot of tequila and a beer. And he goes, good job, dude. He goes, now that since that's out of your system, you're not recording an album for drummers. You're recording music. What you did there, while sonically it sounded really good drum-wise, you just stepped over everything that your guitarist and bass player could have done if you weren't being such a drumhead. So that was a great lesson learned. So there's no double bass on that CD. It's very stoner, very trippy. And I mean, Joel gave me like 25 to 30 guitar tracks per song.
Right.
So that was insane. So if you haven't heard it, check it out. I sent you a link to our first video.
So this is VHF.
VHF. Yeah, Vince Aguirre, Hoekstra, Franklin.
Okay.
Very high frequency. And we did that in 2014. And then like 2 or 3 years ago, we just got signed to Golden Robot Records out of Australia, which was pretty trippy.
That's cool.
So we had so we had to change where our videos were hosted and all that stuff. We had like tens of thousands, 100,000 downloads of all of our shit. And then we get to the label and everything had to start from zero again. So that's kind of trippy, but who cares?
Well, you know, you really hear the Trans-Siberian kind of influence when you listen to that. In fact, Jeff and I, we had looked it up before, and we listened to it a couple weeks ago, and Jeff was like, is this all instrumental? I said, I think so. It's kind of cool. And I said, then we looked up who was in the band, and that's when I saw the Trans-Siberian links and everything. Yeah. I said, okay, this explains this very, kind of reminds me of like early Al Di Meola, very technical guitar work, progressive drum tracks, so really cool stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, Joel and Tony are phenomenal, great guys.
And I've always been a Joel Hoekstra fan myself. So yeah,
it's like it's so funny because we were roommates back in like 91, 92.
Okay,
so he was a good 4 or 5 years younger than me. I have demos of stuff that we did back then that was like really progressive. It was like along the lines of like some really trippy old Genesis to Pink Floyd stuff. And it's like, and then we did a complete joke band, which is really funny. Look up burlesque. Go to YouTube, do a search for burlesque, One More Whiskey. And what's funny about that is Russ Parrish was the one of the counselors. This was at Musicians Institute. We were making fun of the hair metal bands back then. That's what the video was. It was a joke. We did it. We wrote the song. The guys wrote the song in like 5 minutes. And then we dressed up in spandex, all this crazy shit. Well, guess what? Russ Parrish is the guy Satchel from freaking Steel Panther.
Right.
So I like to say they took our idea and made a career out of it.
Yeah, they sure as hell did.
Yeah, they sure did.
And if you actually listen to their song, Death to All But Metal, sounds a lot like the song that we did.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, okay.
All right,
done.
Now he's a legacy. I mean, he grew up in L.A., didn't he? Just outside of L.A., so.
I don't know much about him except he's a hell of a guitar player.
Yeah, definitely. I know a good friend of mine, Tim, used to live out in California. I think they went to high school together.
Oh, okay.
He's great. Oh, he's a great guitar player. The singer's phenomenal. That guy, and he's awesome.
Oh, the whole band is. Yeah. What were they on? America's Got Talent or something out of?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Which you were saying, how the hell did they get to be on America's Got Talent?
That's what I didn't understand, because I'm like, is this a joke?
They've already got albums out.
Right.
I've gone to see them 3 times.
They're known worldwide. It's like, why would you bother?
Maybe they want to do something serious.
That'd be our first.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Community Property is one of my favorite songs. So.
Oh boy.
What? It could be a wedding song.
Yeah. We'll go there, yeah.
So you went from VHF. Now, are you guys still doing stuff with that as well as the Boilermakers, or?
Well, see, the VH stuff's really interesting because, again, there's some weird stuff with the label and all that crap, and it's like we all have different schedules. I still have a day job.
Right.
I'm a network engineer, and it's hard for me to leave to actually go on a substantial tour because. Honestly, I'd actually lose money. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I like where I'm at. I like supporting my family and all that stuff. I would like to do some fly-in dates and all that stuff. But with everybody else's schedule, it's just so hard for all of us to sync up. Now, I do have probably 3 or 4 tracks that I haven't released yet. So maybe I'll do something. Maybe we'll all get together. Tony and I talk quite a bit. We were just talking with Joel, just texting a couple days ago. It's like we're trying to see what we can do. Right. Don't know. But since I'm local, I got this Boilermakers band. And that, for me, that came out of left field, man. This is outlaw country. Yeah. Outlaw country. Just freaking, we call ourselves a drinking group with a music problem. It's like we're a bourbon drinking band. It's like shit kicking fun. And of all music, I'm actually playing double bass in an outlaw country band. So I'm like throwing down some heavy like thrash beats in some of this stuff.
That's cool.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Now who's in that band? Who's in that band? Anybody we would know?
Well, so there's this guy, Smitty's the bass player. So he plays with Stevie Salis, which is a phenomenal blues guitar player. He's played with the drummer from Reverend Horton Heat.
Okay.
Michael Leisure, who's the drummer for Walter Trout. Our lead singer, oddly enough, recognize him if you know the movie Boondock Saints.
Yes.
So in the movie Boondock Saints, Scott was the guy, Ivan, who actually had the toilet busted over his head.
Okay.
He was the Russian assassin. So you'll see him from there. And he's the guy that actually directed our video for the song Beer Run. So you got to check that out. That was a blast. We actually shot that video here in the canyon at one of my friend's house, which you wouldn't believe is a house when you see this video. We had all these old school rat rods out there. It was just fun. And then we played a short set after that, but it was just all a beer drinking, whiskey fueled party.
Nice.
Which is awesome. If you're into that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, beer and whiskey. Beer and whiskey.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, you got us dialed in on that one. So
we'll check it out. The CD that we it just came out a couple months ago, and there's some really funny songs. We're getting airplay all over the country for this song called "Don't Tell Mama." Now, you have to really read the lyrics because if you don't pay attention to the lyrics, it sounds like it's a pretty effed up song. But the song is this guy telling his father that he loves this girl and he wants to marry her. And then the father says, you can't marry her because basically she's your kin. So the father's admitting that he's got all these other daughters throughout the town. So throughout the song, the guy's naming like 5 or 6 girls that he wants to marry, and his father's saying, you can't marry them, they're all kin to you. At the end of the song, the kid's all depressed. He tells his mother what's going on. She's like, oh, don't listen to him. He's not your father.
Even better. Even better.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy funny stuff.
Sounds like you can make a movie out of that one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's pretty cool. I will say, and I'm not going to give it away.
Oh, yeah.
But the last track, the very last track on the album.
Yeah.
The hidden track.
The hidden track.
The hidden track.
I'm like, it's not, I'm playing it. It's not making any noise. And all of a sudden it starts, and I was like, no shit.
Yeah.
I said to Jeff, I go,
oh, I think it needs a verse or two.
Yeah. That's all I got so far. It needs a verse or two. Yeah.
That is hysterical.
I'm not going to give it away, but I'm just telling people who are listening.
What's even funnier, it's like if you look on the CD player or whatever player you have, normally they tell you the song name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't put the song name. We did icon.
Yes.
We saw that.
So when you see
yes. Well, you know what? The icon kind of gave it away a little. I was like, all right, these are like grown up children that are doing this.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, these are full grown adolescents right here that put this on here. And then when the song played, 2 more idiots just started laughing at it, going, "That's fucking cool."
Yep.
So
here we are.
That's great. And so we decided that's gonna be our thing. We're gonna have a hidden track on every CD. So we already started. I already have 3 tracks recorded for the new CD, and I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag on this one. I'm actually gonna sing the hidden track on the next song.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh wait. It's my favorite country song.
Let's see.
Oh wait.
He used to hang out with the guys from Steel Panther. They have parody songs.
Say no more.
Say no more.
Right.
That's all you got to say. Say no. But we will expect him to get Joel Hoekstra on this show.
Oh yeah, man, he's great. He's fantastic. He'd have a blast.
I've always been a fan of Joel, especially ever since when he joined Night Ranger and took over Jeff Watson's spot.
He was fantastic in that spot.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh man. So out here in LA during NAMM, there's all these different shows that happen. So one year, this is really cool. I was in a tribute show for the Ox and Loon. So that's the rhythm section for the Who. Okay, so Tony Franklin was the bass player. Mike Devin, the bass player from Whitesnake, is actually the singer of the band. And our guitarist was Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses. And we played substitute. That was great. Joel was doing a tribute, I think, I can't remember if it was for Zeppelin or something else, but him and Jeff Watson were on stage together trading leads.
That's even better.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's even better.
Both of them doing that 8-finger fretboard technique. It was insane.
Yeah. That's very cool.
In fact, Michael, it's funny he mentioned Michael Devin because he is now with the Dead Daisies.
Yeah. Yep. Well, if you
our
look at the Dead Daisies, Brian Tishy's on drums.
Brian Tishy's on drums. That's right.
Yeah.
And then Doug Aldrich is on guitar. Those guys, all 3 of those guys were in a version of Whitesnake together.
Yes, they were.
Now you realize that in a couple weeks, the photographer that we have coming on just got off tour with the Dead Daisies.
Yeah, because
she was there. She was their traveling photographer.
We're gonna have
on
words.
Tour.
We're gonna have words. That's all I'm saying.
There we go.
And John Corabi is the lead vocalist for the Dead Daisies, who was the singer in the Motley Crue album that you like so much.
I'm telling you, that was one of my favorite Motley Crue albums of all time because it just gave it different. You know, it's like when Corabi was singing, to me, that was like, yeah, you grew up on Grandma's sauce, but every now and then you throw a little hot oil sauce on and you added something completely different. He was that spicy sauce that Motley Crue after a while got flat. Yep. Got old and flat, and he threw something different on. I was like, now that's a fucking Motley Crue album.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see him back in the band now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So what? So you got the Boilermaker. I mean, are you looking to just play locally out there? Are you looking to do 1-off, 2-off?
With the Boilermakers, we can do fly-in dates. We're gonna be opening up for other people. We're gonna do like regional festivals and stuff like that. We'll see what we can do. It all depends on budget, man. It's like we all have jobs, so it has to be financially beneficial for us to leave our jobs to go do this.
Right. We're finding a lot of the guys that we interview that come from the area will book a gig locally
somewhere here
so they can justify it, and then the flight's paid for, some days off from work, and then they come out here. Ben Morrow's going to be here in October.
Jeff
Totora this Friday. I don't know if you know Jeff.
I know the name. I've actually never met the guy.
Jeff was with the Booty Foundation. He was with Iconoclasm, Sacred Death here in Syracuse. Now he's with the Blue Man Group. He's the drummer for Count 77. Tinnitus, and the Femmes of Rock. He's like in 12 different bands. But we mention him on a lot of shows because he's just got so many ties, and he brings us so many different artists to interview.
That's cool.
And it's like, hey, this guy's interested. This girl's interested. Give him a call. Let him know. Or give him a text. And so we thank him. And then Ben Morrow's the same way. Ben's like, hey, we want to do this. We want to do that. And we're going to promote the shit out of it for when he comes and plays. He's got a couple dates booked here in Syracuse. Yeah. And then he's going to be back. He's trying to do every 6 months out here. So, you guys ever have a show you want to try to do out here, let us know.
Well, absolutely. It was really funny because I was talking to Kurt maybe a month or so ago. He was like, "Oh, they were looking for a band." I'm like, "Dude, fly us out there." I go, "We would be a great band to play for the Hades Hounds parties." Man.
Oh yeah. Well, I just went to. They just had a pig roast Sunday, their end of summer pig roast.
I missed that shit.
And I was talking to Kurt quite a bit. Kurt's. We raised money for one of the fellow bikers that has come down in some hard medical issues. Yeah. And we raised $800 for him at a show for the new Rider, which is Daryl from 3-Inch Fury, and then the guys from Under the Gun, all reformed, and now it's called Rider. But their premiere show, we raised some money for Noel, and I know Noel's listening, so Noel, we love you, brother. And
very cool.
Yeah. And so I was talking to Kurt. Kurt has Noel's bike in his garage right now. He's turning it into right now. I think he's got it into a trike, and he might even be looking to do a sidecar or something. But Kurt works on the bikes, works on the cars. Got his construction business. He's a hardworking son of a bitch himself. But we do whatever we can for those guys. That one of the best clubs around. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, those guys are great, man. And next time you see Kurt, ask him what it was like when he fired up his nitrous. I think, God, I can't remember what bike it was. Ask him about the nitrous ride on 481. Just ask him that.
Okay,
he'll tell you a funny story.
I will. I will. Yeah, like I said, so that shout out to the Hades Hounds for all that they do for the. They're not a benefit club. They do 2 rides a year. They do the Ribbons ride and they do the Air One ride. But a friend of a friend had some came upon some hard times right now.
Yep.
They walked around this pig roast. They raised almost $500.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Nice. Yep. There's the Air One ride right there.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So Kurt sends me the magazine, then he sends me a shirt, and I'm like, yeah, I got to frame it, and I haven't framed it yet. I'm lazy, so it's going to hang up here in the studio.
No, you're not lazy. You're just busy.
So we have more music questions, but I have to touch upon this because you brought it up.
You brought it up earlier, yeah.
You used to work for NASA. So anybody says, what are you, a fucking rocket scientist?
You can say yes.
What the fuck? Yeah, this is crazy, man. So I design phone systems. Okay.
All right.
So I'm working for a company, and then I get an email from a recruiter, but the recruiter just had his name and it didn't have the organization that he worked for. And then he sent me a job description and he goes, would you be interested in a job like this? And I just replied back, yes, that sounds great. I got a phone call like 5 minutes later. He goes, okay, this is going to be a really bizarre interview. I'm going to start asking you questions, and based on how that goes, we'll go to the next level, or we'll end it right now. I said, all right, great. So he runs through his thing. I say whatever the hell I said. I honestly can't remember. And then he goes, you did really well. He goes, expect a phone call from the manager. I'm like, okay. So like, I kid you not, right. 15 minutes later, I get a call from the manager. We're on the phone for about 10 minutes, runs through a bunch of questions. I'm like, all right, great. And then they hang up. HR guy calls me back and says, okay, we're going to get a call with you and your direct manager. Okay, great. That goes through. And then 15 minutes later, they said, okay, can you come in on like 2 days later? I'm like, yeah, where am I coming to?
Right,
and they said NASA Jet Propulsion Lab. And I said, holy shit. And the guy just starts laughing. So I'm like, long hair, tattoos. I'm like, shit, what do I do for a job at NASA? I go, fuck it. I'm going to get a really nice suit and I'll just pull my hair back. Fuck it.
Right.
I get out there, and as soon as I get on campus, I see some dude with like dreads down to his back wearing Birkenstocks and shorts. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a little different here. Now I feel overdressed.
Right.
So I go into the interview and they're all just wearing jeans and t-shirts and stuff. And I'm like, and they're sitting on one side of the table and I'm on the other side of the table. And it's like, I did like a nervous joke. I'm like, shit, I might as well just sit in the corner so you can really have my back to the wall. And They start laughing. And I got the job. It was insane. I had to get an FBI screening, FBI background check. They interviewed several neighbors, different people I know. Now, one of my friends from Liverpool, of all places, I vouched for him when he was getting a top secret job. He works for a company out of Florida that does all top secret work. Mm-hmm. And we're really good friends. He can't tell me what he does. That's how messed up his job is.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
We text each other like every day. He sends me the most weird stuff, and I won't tell you what he sends me.
Right.
It's crazy. But I vouched for him, so then he vouched for me. And then I had all these other people. And then when I got on campus, I had to meet with they have their own fire department. They have their own police staff out there. So I met with the chief of police of NASA JPL. And then as we're talking, and I shit you not, we're talking for a while about different stuff. Then he just looks at me and goes, do you know a guy named Tony Franklin? I go, yeah, why? He goes, are you the drummer? I go, yeah, I am. He starts laughing. He's a huge fan of Tony Franklin, and he knew of VHF.
Okay.
So then he's telling my boss, he's like, this guy's like a really, really good drummer. I'm like, okay, thanks. But I really want to focus on this job.
Right.
And, oh my God, it was insane, dude. It was crazy. I redesigned their voice and video infrastructure. I split all of the servers between 3 separate data centers, mm-hmm. where if anything failed, if any 2 of the sites black holed, I could bring everything up in 15 minutes.
Nice.
Voice, video, and chatting. It was nuts.
So I come from a technology background. I worked for AT&T for years, and I sold point-to-point ATM frame relay networks.
Okay.
So I did all that. I'm Cisco certified, the whole 9 yards. So
I had mine, yeah.
Yeah. Boy, I'm not that smart, so I don't know how I passed all the shit that I did, but yeah. And I still have a problem with my VCR. So
wow.
Oh, well, I hate my cell phone. My wife is like, she's like, you're an engineer for NASA. How the hell don't you know how to set like appointments or like notes or something?
Right.
I just like writing whatever. But yeah, NASA. And I still have my top secret security clearance. I actually, one of my friends is working for another government contractor, and he used me as a reference. So I talked to these guys 3 weeks ago, and I'm still current until the end of 2024.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
Crazy.
So you're still working with them?
No.
Okay.
No, I work for a financial institute now.
Okay. Still doing the same telephony and okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything's changed since I've been, it was 20 years ago, and we were still on the cusp, voice over IP and all that.
Oh yeah.
That was new. It was new back then.
I put the first instance of SIP trunking in for a bank out in Florida. That was like, God, 2008, 2009, something like that. I actually, I was invited to speak at a conference in Orlando about the implementation that I did, but I ended up moving back to California instead. I'm like, I'm not staying in Florida another week to speak at the conference. I want to go back to SoCal.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, now you just have to design some way to allow streaming without latency issues.
Yeah, right.
Because we try. We had Rick Latham on last week, and
that one turned out.
Yeah, he had good connectivity.
But we've had a couple of other people that wanted to do like an acoustic song for us.
He definitely knows Scott Sterling.
Okay.
Yeah, you know Scott Sterling.
Yeah, his band, Mr. Monkey, he wanted to do a little something for us, and it was horrible.
Yeah, it just,
Not the song. Don't get me wrong.
No.
The technology.
Technology.
Yeah, Zoom is only as good as it can. I mean, and it's great for what we do right now. So the fact that Rick played it was pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
So we got to ask you this. So you've played all over. You've played with some really great people. We ask everybody the same thing. Give us some embarrassing moments live on stage, stuff that not many people would know had happened.
Stuff that like you knew it happened, but nobody else might have known it happened.
Right.
Okay. Well, back when I was with Maryland's Chamber, we were doing a rehearsal gig. We did 2 rehearsal gigs. One in Phoenix, New York. I can't remember where the hell it was. Bombadils, I don't know. Ask Farrar. I don't know where the hell it was. And everybody was just looking at us. It's like we're all happy. We're playing our set, and there's nothing. So there's like no real good reaction until we played Sweet Home Alabama. Then everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are great."
Oh, this is with Farrar.
No, that was with Maryland's Chamber.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did that.
Wow.
And another gig, we did a warm-up gig at, I think it was the Tipperdew Tavern, like outside of Beeville.
Yeah.
And we called ourselves Chicks with Dicks. So we could do
we just talked to someone about this. Who else was in that group?
Lee. That was Lee.
Yeah, but besides Lee, we just had this
Pete
conversation.
Walker? I don't know. Maybe Farrar brought it up.
Oh, was Billy Blanchard in it at the time?
No. It was Steve Feldman and Pete Walker.
Maybe I was talking to Pete because I just talked to somebody about this. He's like, "Yeah, we came under the alias Chicks with Dicks," and I was like,
"Oh
yeah,
boy.
Get the fuck out."
So we do that gig, but I'm in a hurry. I set up my drum throne and I set it on a cord, which you shouldn't really do. So as soon as I go to play, my chair rotates and it rolls off there, and I bit my tongue. So I'm literally bleeding and spitting out blood through the entire set. Then nobody knew that. I ended up going to the ER afterwards. It was crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's why Gene Simmons' picture is hanging up behind him. That's why.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's like,
that was crazy.
I owe to Gene.
That's great.
Those are the only 2 bloopers. Come on.
Oh God, I probably had a whole bunch of them. It's like
when we had Lee on the show, Lee told us a couple doozies.
Yeah.
I mean, falling off the.
I can't tell you. I'm just gonna say I can't tell you any of the crazy stuff that happened at the Nick Stock 100 keg parties. That is just way off limits, and there's a lot of crazy shit that happened at those.
I think the three of us know.
And,
yeah, we all know from when we've played.
I think the three of us know, but that's probably it.
Yeah, you're just gonna leave it at that. There were some crazy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And Nick was just here. Nick was just here a couple weeks ago, and out of the clear blue, I just hear, "Hey, Big Tony!" I'm like,
"Yep,
it's got to be Nick." I don't care. I haven't seen Nick in 7 years. I'm going to turn around. It's going to be him. Sure enough, same him. Nick, less hair. That's it.
Yep.
He was and Greg Condor.
Whenever I'm up in Hollywood, I see him up in Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. He was there with Greg Condor, and they were hanging out. Okay. So,
what's funny is so he's doing his Alice Cooper band out here.
Mm-hmm.
A bass player of the Boilermaker, his son is playing guitar with Nick in the Alice Cooper band out there.
Oh, no kidding.
Okay.
Yeah. So his son must have flown out here then for next time.
No, I don't think he did.
No.
I'll have to ask him. He wasn't sure if he was going to go out or not.
Yeah, they had I don't know what kind of turnout they had, but
I'm sure
it's Nick.
Yeah,
it's Nick stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Still passing out flyers by hand.
I told him years ago I would always crack up. So in the 80s, let's just say a typical Saturday, you wake up, you're going to go to Green Lakes. When you get to Green Lakes, Nick is there drinking a bud, shooting Frisbee. You leave. You leave Green Lakes. You say bye to Nick. Wherever bar you decide to go to, he beats you there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you've got a Nick stock or whatever tempter was playing on your windshield, and then you go to the next bar and you throw. You're like, Nick, come on, dude, and you throw it away, and you go to the next bar and you come out to your car. And you're like, what?
There's another one.
This is like Santa Claus's minions are somewhere. I mean, everywhere you go is a Nick stock flyer or something. He is. I give him credit. I mean,
absolutely.
No matter where he goes, he's still to this day doing it old school. And I told Nick is like, who do you want on your show? I know everybody in LA. I'll get them all on your show. And I'm like, let's do it. So we've got to get we're so booked. We're booked up until January already, but Nick definitely we could load up him we could load up a month's worth of supply of guests with just Nick and Eric and even guys like yourself that can refer stuff over. So we appreciate that.
Yep.
You always ask,
you want that one?
Yeah, well, that's your question. I asked the embarrassing question. You asked the other one. That's the way we go.
So when's the last time you cried? I'm just kidding.
When he found out he was doing this stupid show. This is what my life has become.
Right? Being that
you've, a dick.
I mean, hello.
You haven't been.
You're a dick.
You haven't been called a dick by. That was the voice of Jobu right here, or not Jobu. Jibu. Yeah. Jobu was the guy from the baseball movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dick.
So, being that you've played with like Joel Hoekstra and Gilby Clarke, countless others, who is the one guy that you've met that you were like, holy shit, I'm standing in front of this guy?
Besides Steve Gadd.
Yeah, besides Steve. Yeah.
You can't use that one again.
Well, Gilby was one, man. I mean, that's crazy. But not only that, it's like I play in some of the jams that are up in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Whiskey has a jam every couple weeks. Mm-hmm. They call it the Ultimate Jam Night. And it is like everybody is up there. I mean, pretty much you name it and they're there.
Right.
So there was another one at Lucky Strike. So I actually had a soul band of all things.
All right.
Neil Turbin from the original Anthrax singer, he was the singer of the soul band I was in.
Oh, very cool.
Bass player is Tony Moore, who was the singer from Riot. Mm-hmm. Our guitarist is Darren Householder, who had his own several albums on Shrapnel. He's one of those Shrapnel shredder guys in the 90s, but he's in Love Hate with Jizzy Pearl.
Oh,
our keyboardist was Steve Ferlazzo, who was Avril Lavigne's band director.
Wow. Okay.
We had a horn section. We had backing vocals, all authentic soul, but played by these hard rock guys.
Yeah.
Now, we did a couple rehearsals, and then we opened up for Jackson Brown. I mean, that
very
was
cool.
pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy. Yeah.
That's very cool. I was actually lucky enough to see Jackson Brown.
Frickin' name dropper.
Yeah.
I know. What the hell?
I told you my Jackson Brown story.
Yes, you did.
So I go down to the War Memorial. Jackson Brown is I don't even know who he is at the time. I was there to pick up tickets for Kiss, right? And I think it was Kiss and Queensryche or somebody. And Jackson Brown, they're doing sound check, and he's standing outside. If you remember, the Syracuse War Memorial got the big doors, and they're just kind of standing outside there. And then I go walking through the side to go to the ticket booth, and he says, "You here for the tickets for the show tonight?" I said, "I didn't even know there was one." And the guy goes, "Well, it's Jackson Brown. Have you ever heard of him?" And I said,
"Nah,
no. I'm here to get Kiss tickets." And he's like, "If you had tickets for tonight's show, would you go?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So he goes, "Hang on." So he comes back out, and this guy gives me 2 tickets. They're like second row, or I think it was second row, but it's dead smack in the middle, second row. I'm like, how could I not go? Now, I couldn't find one of my friends to go. Yeah, I'm like, "You guys want to go?" Nah, no. I'm like, "Well, I'll go by myself." So I go, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, the guy who gives me the tickets comes walking out center stage, and it's frickin' Jackson Brown. And he plays a couple songs, and he looks down, and he looks right at me, and he points and goes, "You having fun so far?" And I was like, "I am now." And I didn't realize it. And from that point on, I was like, what a freaking cool dude.
Yeah.
And so it opened my mind a little bit more to rather than just,
I mean, I saw him last year. He played with James Taylor.
Oh, another one. Oh, my God. James Taylor. Are you kidding me?
To listen to Jackson Brown, it doesn't sound like he's lost a step in his voice.
No.
He sounded just like he did, back in the 70s.
James Taylor, 80s. Same way.
And James Taylor, the same way. And the coolest thing was, though, James Taylor's saxophone player was Blue Lou.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
That was cool.
Blue Lou.
Yep.
Vinny the drummer, Blue Lou.
There you go.
Sweet. See, there you go.
Sam the saxophone, Vinny the drummer.
Sam the saxophone.
Gary the guitar player.
Put a band together, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Does your last name begin with a musical instrument?
Right.
Call Vinny the drummer.
Call our friend Vinny.
That's right.
Drum tracks available.
Phil the flute player's calling. You're going to be doing Jethro Tull all night. Oh, that's cool. So what have you got?
We got coming up.
Yeah, what do you got coming up?
We're doing another rehearsal gig Wednesday night for the Boilermakers, and then it's just more tracking for the new CD and gearing up for management and opening up for other people.
Do you have anybody that you're opening for that you can tell us, or no?
No, not right now.
Okay.
It's that top secret clearance again.
Yeah, it's that NASA.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
It's got that. Why don't you just call the band NASA?
I have to kill you, right? Yeah.
See, he believes in UFOs,
He
so
does.
he's going to start a band called Uranus.
Hey, now.
Hey, now. It's a gaseous state. So I got to tell you, that's usually how this show ends up. Starts going downhill. Shit just gets ugly really quick.
No deliverance jokes, right?
Yeah. No, not since the Boy Scouts.
Wow.
You know what? This is going to be one of those hate mail episodes.
Again.
Every now and then we get those. It was funny, but that one guy, the big guy's very crude. He says the F word a lot. He makes a lot of sexual references.
Yep.
And I say to that, don't listen, man.
Don't listen.
That's right. Vinny, we want to thank you for being on. We know that there's going to be more time to talk to you. We want to get you back on. And
absolutely, man. I got tons of stories, man.
And I think had those guys known ahead of time, they would have flown you out for that Kegs gig that was a couple weeks back.
Yeah, right.
They ended up having Country Swag did the show with them. But yeah, that would have been cool. They're trying to get more and more involved in stuff like that. So we'd love to see you come out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I would love to come back. I'd love to do some gigs, locally, see some friends and family that I haven't seen in a while, drive some people crazy, as I like to do. Yeah. Oh, I have one last thing. So when we were talking earlier about a fanboy moment.
Yes.
I have to tell you my one fanboy moment that I was freaking out over. So I'm endorsed by Pisces Symbols, and Nick Mason from Pink Floyd is as well.
Right.
So I saw that Nick Mason was doing a gig in LA at the Wiltern Theater. So I email my rep. My rep goes, "Oh, let me ask his agent if we can hook you up." They hook me up and my wife with not only tickets but backstage, so I can actually meet Nick Mason from Pink Floyd. So I'm just like nervous as shit. I've met so many different people over the years, but now all of a sudden I'm fanboy, I'm nervous. He comes walking in, I'm like, oh my God, there he is. There he is. And my wife was like, would you just calm down? I've never seen you like this before. So he comes over, I let him, he talks to a few people. Now there's only 10 people backstage. It's like my wife and I, a drummer called Ryan Brown, who plays with Dweezil Zappa, the rep from ProMark Drumsticks, then just all people from the UK. It was their friends and family. So he's talking to everybody. He comes up and I introduce myself. He goes, oh yeah, I'm glad to see that, Vic, his agent, publicist hooked us up together. So nice to meet you. I'm like, yeah, man. I go, great to meet you. Huge influence over the years. At some point I would love, maybe we could get a picture together. He goes, okay, mate, good to see you. And then he pats me on the back and walks away. And I'm like, fuck, what did I, So I'm like, I'm all nervous, man. So have a glass of wine. And then 5 minutes later, I get this arm around me. I heard you wanted to get a picture taken. And I'm like, oh yeah. So now I'm all happy. My wife takes our picture together. And then the stupid thing that I do is you're such a huge influence. I go, I named my daughter after you. He goes, what? I go, yeah, her name's Nicolette. I call her Nick. And he was like, that's cool, I guess.
Get away from me, creeper.
Idiot.
My favorite pair of boxers are named after you. I wore them tonight.
What the hell?
Sign my belly button.
To sign these.
Sign my arm.
That was the one time I never knew what to say, and I'm like, fuck, I ruined it.
That's all right. It happens to everybody.
Everybody's had that.
Scott Sterling, John Entwistle.
Yeah, John Entwistle.
John Entwistle said to Scott Sterling, what do you think, Scott? And he's just like,
right.
He's like,
I partied with him in the early 90s. Entwistle?
Yeah, when he came to the Lost.
No, I was out here in Hollywood. It was 91, 92. He was at this place called Acapulco. It was a Mexican restaurant. You go there for happy hour because they had a full spread of food, and we were broke, so we could just go buy a beer and eat for free.
Right.
Entwistle's there. Well, one of my friends, his friend knew Entwistle's girlfriend, so they start talking. Entwistle invites us to go meet up with him at the Rainbow for dinner.
Nice.
So
wow.
We go out there, and he buys us these steak dinners, and we partied all night on his dime. It was insane.
That's awesome.
There you go. Could have run into Nick Fuco when you were out there.
Yeah, right.
It wouldn't have been a steak dinner.
Big dummy. Yeah, no.
It might have been a hamburger dinner.
Might have been, yeah.
Maybe.
No, let's not go down that road.
All right.
We love Nick.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Dude, this is fun.
Vinny, thank you so much, man.
I had a blast, man. Thanks a lot, guys.
We appreciate it. And
Yes.
Anytime you have anything remotely that you want to promote, new album comes out, any new tracks, anything like that, let me know. We'll push the hell out of it.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'll pass your info to Joel.
That'd be great.
He's a good dude. He'll be more than happy to talk to you guys.
That'd be awesome. I know that you would be thrilled by that. So
just don't drive him crazy.
yeah, trust me.
No fanboy stuff.
Yeah, we got some fanboy moments that we've already had on the show. We got more coming, but I think when Brian from Tesla gets on the show, he'll just be a babbling.
So is he living out in Fulton now?
He's living in Auburn.
Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah, he bought a big house that he's turning into a
bed and breakfast.
I think, or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Those houses are awesome.
Old 1800s.
Yeah.
I would totally like to do that if it wasn't so freaking cold out there.
Well,
stay where it's warm, dude.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make sure that we get the Boilermakers out here at the show. And we're going to make sure it's definitely going to be either November or December, just for you.
Thanks. You know what? If you did that, I would do that for the hell of it, and I'll stay warm with my bourbon.
There you go.
All right.
Deal.
Very good.
Perfect.
Vinny, thank you so much for being on.
You,
we
brother.
appreciate it. And we look forward to the next time we have this conversation.
You got it, man. Anytime, hit me up. I'm around.
All right, brother.
All right,
thank you so much. We'll talk to you.
Yep, have a good one. Bye.
Peace.
See ya.
There you go, Jeff.
There I go.
Vinny the drummer.
There you go.
I know. We've had 2 drummers in a row now.
I know.
We're going for the hat trick.
Trifecta.
We've got Mr. Tripoli going to be on tomorrow.
If he remembers.
Well, we'll record him tomorrow. I think are we carrying that one? We might carry that one.
Might carry that one, and
because I'm going to be out of town a little bit here and there.
One more we're going to have to carry.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's
we got all kinds of good stuff. Great Oak Medical Supply. Got to mention them because we are looking to have studio number 2.
Yes.
Where we can bring some people in. Could we set up a little different?
Sit in front of them and talk to them.
Yeah, just have them right at the table.
Yep.
We're figuring out the multi-camera interviewing stuff. Mr. Bill Hatch, if you're listening,
thanks for,
he's not listening. Let's make fun of him.
No. Syracuse Event Center.
Oh, yeah.
And
Syracuse
don't forget.
Friday
the 22nd. This Friday.
Femmes of Rock.
Femmes of Rock.
You kidding
me?
Will
be here.
Going to be a great show.
6 p.m. start with opener.
Irv Lyons.
Right.
I saw Irv the other day at the Italian Fest, but he was moving.
Ignored you?
No. Well, yeah, probably. He was moving in and out of the crowd like a mouse running toward cheese. I couldn't catch. I mean, he's a
quick little bugger.
A quick little bugger. Had to give a shout out to my boy Andy DeVoli, out from California. He was in town in Syracuse at the Italian Fest filming some B-roll stuff for an upcoming movie.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
It was, really cool. And so we saw him. We saw Ryder was at the Italian Fest. We want to give a shout out to those guys. Infinity opened up for Ryder.
Oh, good.
Vinny and the Meatballs or something. They opened up before them. I don't know who they were. There was some Italian band. So had a good time out at the Italian Fest. We had our friends from Hades Hounds had the pig roast on Sunday out to the Gathering Lounge. We want to give thanks to those guys. Just a good weekend.
Yeah,
good weekend for entertainment and festivities.
Because
it's winding down. Taste of Baldwinsville was out there.
Yeah, that was this weekend. And how do you compete with
Taste? How do you have the Taste of Baldwinsville compete with the Italian Fest?
Yeah,
I don't think the Italians know where Baldwinsville is.
All right. All right.
I'm telling you.
What do I know?
Our friends at Angry Smokehouse had their stuff going on.
DJ Life's a Beach.
He did his karaoke this weekend.
Nice.
Our friends from the Print Shop Underground.
Yes.
They were representing out at the Taste of Baldwinsville.
Awesome.
Their shop is
Good
in Baldwinsville.
Deal.
Hooking up with Sal's restaurant out there.
Nice.
Man, Good Nature Brewery.
Yep.
Nobody went there this weekend, but I'm
did.
sure that's coming.
Yeah, this weekend probably.
We definitely have to. We have to get out there and see our friend out there.
Yeah,
and do an interview with him. That's about it. I mean, it was a good week, a good interview, and that's all I got to say about that.
All right,
you keep talking.
Well, thanks to Toffee Break Toffee.
Oh yeah.
Can't forget that.
No, can't forget Snarky Productions either.
You cannot.
When you want it, if you call Snarky Productions today, if you just want someone to throw snark at you. What, the number?
No.
I got it right here.
Do you?
You sure?
Good for you. I've got it, I think. I have to look.
Hey, thanks to J-Ro for this music. We're going to save it every week.
You're the best.
You've been listening to The Good,
the band,
The Ugly. I'm Big Papa.
And I'm Jeff.
Just Jeff. We'll see you tomorrow.
No,
Peace out. Yes, we will.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow.
Roll the credits.